Good evening, Fergus. Thank you for joining me again. How are you at the moment?
I'm well, thanks, Cindy. Let me turn my sound up. Just a minute.
Yep, and get you a bit more into pictures instead of, so I can have a little bit more of you than just eyebrows, please. That'd be great.
Okay.
Yay. Well, tonight you're actually going to show us lots of fabby kind of
Techo
stuffy for doing blabbing and speaking, because obviously being a speaker and being on stage and in conferences and little rooms, you need to have the right equipment and these so-called lapel mics over standard mics, and I know.
Okay. What I've been thinking today, Cindy, as I was looking, I've got like rooms full of equipment. And I thought of spreading it all out in my bedroom. And
Do we really need to know that?
I've got big equipment, darling. Okay. Some is packed away in my loft. Oh, Ian, ignore. Accept. I'm not chatting you up, Ian. I've been chatting Cindy up for 12 years. It's never got me anywhere. Since then, she's got married, had 2 children, and is a very happy lady. But she's still a very good friend. And I forgive her for not fancying me, okay?
That's okay, but you're very great to take their eyes out of, so...
Yeah, I know. Well, that's actually a good thing to be able to be done. Let me move my camera. Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Hey!
So, Cindy and I spent ages this morning and this afternoon. And Cindy, I have to tell you, right, as you know, my girlfriend was here with me this afternoon while we were setting up.
Do we really want to hear that?
No, she left. She went home.
Oh.
She said, "You're so busy getting ready for tonight. I thought I'd leave you alone." I thought, oh, no.
Another blabberholic, then.
She's not a blabberholic yet.
No, but that's you and Ian. So far, Ian is here with us at 7 o'clock in the morning, his time to actually learn about some tech. So.
Yeah. Well, Ian is one of my friends on here anyway. I'm following him. And
Actually, I'm only here because both of you woke me up.
Okay. What I wanted to do, and I will be using Manycam soon, which Cindy's using already. Manycam is incredible, but there's another program which might be even better for me on a Mac. And somebody said, I'm one of the early adopters. And that's what Blab is. And Cindy's brought me into Blab a week and a half ago, I think, with my arm up my back. And she said, Fergus, you've got to do Blab. And I used to do a program called iVisit many years ago, when you could have up to 12 people in a room. And you could have comments down the side and in the room. But this is much better because it's much better organized. And you've got 4 people in the room, and please, everybody, dynamic, everybody else, if you want to come in a seat or talk with us, brilliant, go for it.
Dynamic is Ian.
Oh, yeah, he is. Hello, Ian. Yeah, down there in Oz. Okay,
I'm down under.
Right down under, yeah. My girlfriend's Aussie and she went home, right? She went home earlier because I was doing all this stuff. Anyway, ignoring that, I wanted to get my external webcam working so that I could move it around the equipment that I'm going to be showing you how to use. Seriously, and it's, okay, people need to take notes. Not just, like, as a friend, Cindy knows he is, Nigel says, don't take notes, take notice. During this call, it'd be very good. Hi, Tracy. You want to take notes. Okay? You know who I mean, don't you, Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right. The first thing I want to tell you about is microphones. And there's a range of them. And the reason I'm using my external camera is because I can move it around on a very long cable. But I'll talk about the camera later. The first microphone I want to tell you about is this NT USB by Rode, R-O-D-E.
R-O-D-E.
R-O-D-E. Now, I'll hold it up for you so you can see it, okay?
Blimey, that looks, I can't put that in my handbag. So when would I use something like that?
You could actually, because this comes off, and this comes off, and this comes off. So I quite often just use the mic.
Right.
I can disconnect the mic and reconnect it and show it to you without all of this stuff. I'll actually do that right now, because then people can see how useful it is. So I'll go silent briefly while I do some unscrewing, okay?
Well, when you come back on then, what I'd like to know is why and when I would use a mic like that. Because I've seen some of the other guys using big kind of microphones with a sock over the front of it, or that big flat thing. And they're all sort of like recommending that to get something like that because of podcasting quality.
Good advice, Robin. We'll leave it at that.
That is a good job he's not reading that. We'd never get him back on. It'd be too much laughing. Oh, the USB cable.
Not holding your mouth right, Fergus.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Oh dear. No, can't hear you. What have you done? You've forgotten to screw something back up, haven't you?
You screwed it up.
Excellent. This is why I like doing podcasts, well, not podcasts, these blabs with Fergus, because I just find him tremendous fun. Absolutely, Robin, would you like to come and join us on the seat and sort of like be able to have a laugh with Fergus?
Never work with children, animals, or Fergus.
Pardon?
Never work with children, animals, or Fergus.
Oh, okay, just listening. Yeah, so that's one thing with, this is one of the reasons why I like doing things with Fergus. He's a great guy. He's never yet done anything where I've had to laugh at him, but I've always had to laugh with him. No, I think I'm going to learn how to lip read. Which isn't great, doing lip reading for a voiceover artist. You do realise this, or a vocal trainer. Yeah, dear.
At least you won't miss anything he says.
Yes. You do. You know what's going to be happening, don't you? He's actually put it in the wrong slot or something. Well, if nothing else, Fergus, you have just proved that having something so technical would not suit me, because if you can't get it to work, I don't think I'd be able to get it to do it. Do you use anything professional, Ian? Because I've noticed you don't have a mic.
I don't have a real mic, so to speak, but I have a high-definition webcam, a Logitech C920, from memory.
Oh, got it.
And the audio is really, really good. So I haven't bothered going to the next step.
Does your audio actually come with the camera then?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all in one, only $100 or something, and very good quality. Like the video is high definition. It's very focused though, so with my casual setup here in this room, you've got depth of field to be a little bit concerned about. Like that door is not focused to me. It could just be my eyesight. But the focus is on me because it automatically focuses. If I move, it focuses. So it's good enough for blabbing.
He's gone again. Oh, classic moments. I think we're just about to see this go through the window by the looks of it. Okay. That's a road. Yes, it's black and it's a microphone. And you can't get it to work. Nothing to do with the connection to your headset or anything, no? No. Oh dear. No.
Maybe we should be changing our title to Gadgets for Blab and Miming with Fergus.
Okay. And how do you spell miming?
M-I-M-I-N-G.
Oh, bless him.
Tip number 442 for blabs. Don't tamper with your audio during the blab.
He knows that now. Oh dear, thank God they have a refresh button. Oh dear. So how are you now finding Blab? I mean, I've seen you.
Back to that question again.
No, I mean,
I'm finding
are
it
you actually
really
doing it with your work and speaking and stuff?
Can you hear
I'm
me?
finding it very interesting to explore how it could be used, and I'm seeing a number of the ideas that people are having for what to use Blab for. And from a business standpoint, I'm just starting to play with some of my friends, in inverted commas, and try some models of Blabs. Mm-hmm. Interviewing works really well. This platform's really good for that, so I'll be doing some of that. And on the speaking front, I think there's a whole wave of new people coming onto Blab. Forget the early adopters who are already out there and confident, but a whole new wave that really need to work out how to present the business to grow. So I'm already trial and erroring it myself, and see a lot of opportunities to coach people and find systems that help people sell better in this platform. Not in the platform, but through the platform.
Wow, there's it's funny you should say about the different ways on how to use Blab, because of I've been seeing a lot of different styles coming through now that the people that have been using it whilst they're in bed seems to have been a little bit more subsided. It's been interesting watching that somebody actually did a live coaching session the other day, and they literally just had people jumping in, gave them 2 minutes worth of advice, and then booted them out. It was almost like standing in line book signing, you know.
Yeah, you can easily do speed. I've been helping in some of those too. Speed masterminding, if you like,
Okay.
and that works really, really well. So the business coaching stuff. So really good with 2 or 3 faces providing feedback to the person with a challenge. The chat box helping as well, works really well. To your comment before about filling seats in the Blab, it really works well when you have, say...
Hello? Can you hear me?
It really works well when you have the host and the co-host and others moving through the other seats. And I think that's a really good model to keep it active. It's got to keep dynamic. When 4 people sit on the seats and just hog it, it's not as entertaining, not as interesting, not as dynamic.
Okay, can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, good. Fine.
Agreed, Tracy. They work best.
What did you do wrong?
As Ian said very wisely, when I changed my system settings by unplugging the microphone, that's all I did. It's my headphones and my mic. And plugged it back in again. Blab said, no, don't like you. Even though I was still set to Blab. So I had to reset Blab to get it to work, literally. So that's, I mean, okay, Blab's in its early days, it's in its infancy, and it's very exciting. And Ian, you're dead right. You're using the Panasonic 920. I'm using the Panasonic 930, which is very similar. And as you can see, very high definition. And the built-in, so I'm getting into the tech talk now, if you don't mind, Ian. I'm sorry, I've done the mic already, the Rode NT USB. Now, there are lots of USB microphones. I've also got, and I thought about getting them out, I've got lots of microphones for speakers. They can write to me, ask me, fergus@vocaltrademark.com, and they can hear that for themselves. Next time, I'll be using a better program linked into Blab so I can have that showing up on the bottom of my thing, Fergus@vocaltrademark, as in the voice.com. And I'll give free advice to anyone because I've done several of these talks with Cindy, and the great thing is giving stuff away. Yeah. And I can give stuff away, as Cindy knows, for 24 hours a day. And I'll still have lots of stuff to sell to people, so I don't mind giving stuff away because I want people to learn stuff. And I've met you before on here anyway, Ian, and I want to give some stuff away today. So you're right, you're using the 920E camera, I'm using the 930E external web camera. And earlier on today, Cindy and I worked on getting it to work. And thank goodness Chris showed me this little camera thing. Okay, I can move this around now. That's the power of it. Right, this little camera button here. You'll see it in a moment. There we are. See? Next to the star.
Yep.
You click on that, and then you can choose the camera you're going to use. Anyway, microphones, right, the Rode NT USB. There are lots of USB mics around. I've got an extremely expensive Rode mic, which I thought of getting out. It's in a suitcase, basically. It's
So
huge.
one definitely not for the handbag then.
No, not at all. It's in its own case. It's like a third of the size of my double bed. And so I thought, okay, I won't drag all the equipment out, and including the wireless mics, the headset mics, but I will drag some stuff out, at which point I'm going to put this mic down next to me, now that it's working again, thank you world, and I'm going to be like one of those magicians who pulls rabbits out of a hat, which is why I wanted to use the external mic camera instead of the built-in one. So if I set this here, okay, speakers don't need necessarily to have this equipment, but they need to understand it. I use lots of different microphones and cameras, and Ian is oh, he's gone. Ian's gone. Never mind, he'll be back, I'm sure.
Yes, but you do have a fan of the microphone that you're using, because Leader's Residue, or I don't know the name, says that he likes the.
It's a lovely mic.
No, he has the mic that you're.
Okay, yeah. Now, did you notice before I took it apart? Okay, I'll show people. You saw the stand, didn't you? Now there was a pop filter as well. Okay. Like that. And there's a piece of sponge. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, there's a reason for that. Now, I don't know if people hear the difference, but if you're doing a recording as a speaker, if you want to record one of your speeches, for example, and you want it to be good quality, and you want to use what's called a condenser mic, a studio microphone, as opposed to a on-stage microphone, let's see if people can hear the difference on this. Ready? Okay, I'm going to do it the wrong way for this type of microphone. Peter Piper, Peter Pickle Peppers. That was horrible, wasn't it? It was really...
Oh, my God. The popping.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
if I put this in front, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Not quite so bad, so it's like the tapping.
Yeah, so if I also put the sponge in there and put it like that, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Oh, crikey. Okay, yep.
Okay, so that's what filters are for. And I've also got here, brand new in a bag to show to people, if you're going to do your own recordings of events that you want as a quality. Now, we've all seen people like Bob Dylan in a microphone, in a studio, recording on a microphone. And he uses actually a fantastic mic, which I won't talk about because they're about £6,000. Wow. What he always has in front of him is one of these.
What is that actually called? Because for me, I call that the tight frisbee.
Yeah, it's actually, ready? It's a pop filter.
A pop filter.
Watch this. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Well, that's a lot easier than carrying the sock and everything else around.
Yeah. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So if you're doing a recording for a client, you'd need a microphone stand, which actually my camera's actually set for. But my big microphone, which is in its own big suitcase, I'm sorry, the camera's not looking at my face properly. Sorry, everybody, but I've got technology to show you down here on the floor, like a magician pulling stuff out of his box. Ask questions, people, but keep writing questions and keep listening and take notes. Because I'm going to do some really powerful... Hello, Robin, darling. She's great. She's lovely. I love her to bits. She's got a great voice as well. Very powerful. Anyway... yes, there are different qualities of pop filters. Well done. There are the standard ones. Now, this actually came as a spare pop filter cover when I bought a pop filter, which is on... Do you remember those old office lights, which have got a sort of swirly-whirly thing, and you can bend them in any direction?
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah. You have a frame...
The snake lamps.
Yeah, snake lamp. Okay. And this would fit into the top of it, which is, well, there's no screw actually, no screw hole, but it fits into a frame at the top of one of those. This is a spare, and it fits into the top of that, and at the bottom, it's got a sort of connection thing, right, which we'd screw onto your microphone stand. Now, I've recorded, as Cindy knows, I've recorded a lot of audio CDs for people. You don't hold the microphone in your hand while you're turning the pages of your script. You can't. You need to be able to be free of the microphone. Now, one of the advantages of this mic, I can move it several feet away from me, and I can just talk, and it still sounds good, which is good. Most USB mics don't sound like that. Now, there's one called the Blue Yeti, which looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks so good, but it's got system noise.
So
now,
actually,
why am I talking about system noise, Cindy?
well, before you go that far, I'm going to say, before you go too much techie, bring it back one step, because you've made a very good point. How close or how far should a mic be? Because that's the one thing I'm quite conscious when you're going up on the stage, and even here, I'm very conscious that this is not too close to the mouth, but far enough away that I don't feel like I'm eating it or spitting into it, but people can hear. And
Really?
also on stage.
Oh, don't go, leaders. Okay, right. The most important thing with a microphone, doesn't matter which type of mic you're using, is to find your sweet spot. Okay? Now, the sweet spot is usually, if I get the camera here, it's somewhere around here or around here. And I'll show you why, even without a pop filter. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And also quite close. Because when you're speaking close to the microphone, we talked previously about bass. When you're speaking very close to a mic, you get what's called bass lift. Mm-hmm. Like if I talk like this, "Hi, Cindy," you are thinking, "Oh my God, Fergus is wonderful. Oh my God," right? And if I do the same thing from here, "Hi, Cindy," "Oh my God," you're thinking Fergus is wonderful.
Oh, wow. It sounds like two different voices. So
Yeah.
does the pop filter or the quality of the pop filter will count to help with that? Or
No, not at all. No. The pop filter only takes out pops.
so
And
is there different qualities of pop filters to help that?
no, not really. They all put their name on it, but they're all the same. All you need, and you could actually use a couple of pairs of old tights stretched over a circular frame. That's all you need. A couple of layers of nylon, because you don't want too much cloth there.
Right.
It's the cheapo version, but it does work. But don't get filmed doing it, because you get no credibility with the legs of a pair of tights hanging down in front of you while you're doing a recording. Anyway, here's how you find your sweet spot, okay? And this is for using the technology, and I'll go into the technology as well. Okay, look at what I'm doing when I'm speaking. Now, I'm very close to the mic with no pop filter, and I can still say Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers without popping. But what if I do it here? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Oh, pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. So what you do, either this side of your mouth or this side of your mouth, you find a place that sounds really good. And do you notice what I'm doing? I'm doing it to the side. Why? Well, in the center, I get the sound from my mouth, but also, if I'm very excited and I'm on stage, you'll hear all my breathing from my nose and my mouth. So if you take it to here, you can get away with liberties and make it sound really incredibly good for your audience.
Is that why the new professional mics that are coming in that are flesh toned and on the ear and everything are kind of just coming to here on the face? Sort of like with these roundabout there kind of thing?
Yeah, I've actually got two of those, and they cost about £400 or £500 each.
Oh, just a cheap thing.
Yeah, just cheapies. But a good headset, you can actually get a quite good headset and microphone, just the mic, not the transmitter and not the receiver, for about £200. So you've got to think about a package of microphone, which is why I'll do another blab on technology, because there's no, I will, if Cindy lets me, if everybody's interested and they tell me, yes, I want to do, believe me, I can't in 1 hour give you all the technology a speaker needs to understand. You don't need to buy it, but you do need to understand it. So let me briefly tell you about the two different types of microphone, okay? Because Cindy brought up something very well. Okay, there's the dynamic microphone and there's the condenser microphone. This is a condenser microphone. Let me show you, if I can with the camera, that inside there's a cage and there's a huge disc, right?
Okay.
Right. Now that disc bounces backwards and forwards and is very, very sensitive. And it gives you much better quality sound than a dynamic microphone. Most performers on stage who are doing pop music are using a handheld dynamic microphone, which doesn't have popping. You just put a sock on the top, basically, and you don't have to worry about it distorting. The sound quality isn't anything like as good as a studio microphone, but it's very good for stage work. And I use those a lot as well. And in my little box of tricks, I'm going to start pulling out microphones in a minute. But let me see. Another thing speakers need, actually, is something like this. Okay? What is this, do you ask? Okay, there you are.
It's a torch for looking for the bits under the bed when you're actually trying to get out for a conference, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also a torch for when you're at an event and something goes wrong. You go, oh my God.
No, you mean, but it didn't help when you kind of unplugged things.
No, it doesn't matter as long as it. Yeah, believe me, I got a lot of training work from someone just by being able to replug things for him. He's a very, very. I can't say his name, but first name starts with Bob. Okay, but I got a lot of training from his company because he couldn't make the microphones work. And I did it in 5 minutes. I got so much money from just replugging some things and turning some knobs. It was brilliant. Anyway, okay, moving on to other things. I'm going to put my microphone down in front of me because it works really well. And now my camera is going to start to roam. And I hope people are loving this. And please tell me hello, Fab. Great to see you. I hope people will love this. Okay. One of the things you might need for when you're doing an event as a speaker is a good quality camera. Mm-hmm. Now, this one, actually, and you could probably get them a lot cheaper than this, but this is a full HD Panasonic camera, okay? It cost me £780 a few years ago, and the quality, and look at the battery. It sticks out the back because I had to get the extra big battery for it to last for 3 hours. It's a very good camera, but one of the reasons I bought it was, look what we've got here. We have a socket on the side. What is plugged into the socket, everybody? Cindy, can you guess what's plugged in? Can anybody else guess what's plugged into the side of the camera? Hello, come on, everybody. Come on.
The power?
No. It's got a battery on the back. Cindy, come on.
Hey, I'm not techie. That's why I'm asking you for his help.
Okay, what do you think this is?
That's the microphone.
Exactly. Now, the reason for that is, now this is, and they're still around, you can get a yoga microphone for about 20 or 30 pounds from Maplin, which is very similar to this. Or you can get one of these, which is a Sony, ready with your pens and papers, everybody. Echo Charlie Mike dash Mike Sierra 907.
Hang on,
repeat that, and I'll type it in.
Okay. ECM dash M S 907.
907.
Yeah.
Is that the right one?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
Now look, I'll take the little sock off the top and you can see. Oh. Now that is a stereo microphone with a foam pop filter, and it's used a lot, or it used to be used a lot by radio stations doing their electronic news gathering, because it's a handheld mic, so you can stick it right close to somebody, as opposed to the microphone built in top of a Zoom recorder or a Olympus recorder, where they actually are miles away from you. Whereas when they hold the mic up close to their mouth...
Which we can't see, because we're seeing more of the... That's it.
Hello, there's a mouth on the microphone. I'm not going to make the mistake of making a film recording right now with a microphone. Thank you, Cindy. But it's also... it is used... This microphone has been used a lot professionally by radio stations, and it was a standard. At the same time, you can get something which is like 10% less good or 15% less good for £20. The Sony one is about £100.
So you actually don't need, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask. I don't need to break the bank and all my budgets, because I know people want 100% quality, but it occurs to me that if most of the people are actually listening back on their phones and stuff, then surely 80 or 90% must be okay, at least.
That's fine. Yeah. The reason I've got this microphone, this Rode microphone, and also my big studio one, which is in its own suitcase, is because we've all watched films like James Bond films, and the music comes in, and the music's playing, and then the voice comes in of the voiceover, the narrator. And you don't notice a hiss when their voice comes in. Mm-hmm. Now, with a good preamplifier, you won't notice a hiss. With a bad one, you will. And if you're making your own recordings, you can't afford... If people are wanting to make their own CDs and edit them with their voice, they need to have a very good preamplifier for their microphone. And they need to use a condenser mic.
So how do I know if my mic that I get...
Oh, well done, Fab. Yeah.
So how do I know if the mic that I go and get is a condenser mic and will not have that hiss? Because I would like to use...
No. Wrong. No.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, okay, actually, you're right. If you can get a USB microphone, which is like the Blue Yeti, which looks beautiful. I mean, it looks, oh my God, gorgeous. And I've used several, I've done professional recordings on them, but they've got a background hiss. And you can't use it because of that reason. There's a background noise. There's an AKG, and I can't, perception, as in you perceive something. AKG perception is very, very good. And it's got a built-in pop filter, but not like this one. Yes, AKG perception, well done. Yeah, it's very, very good. Now, this microphone, the Rode I'm using, cost, I think, £130, okay? 130 English, I was going to say human pounds, 130 English pounds, okay? The web camera I'm using, which is very high quality, as you can see, full HD, was £87. The Sony handheld mic I was just using was £97. It's probably a lot cheaper now. Now, my headphones, okay, which, if you're a speaker, you want to listen to your stuff at good quality, don't you? You want to hear what you really sounded like when you were recorded. Now, these headphones, and people take notes and listen to the recording afterwards, these are what's called studio reference, okay? Now, the words studio reference means they're not written for pop, they're not written for classical, they're written for what's really recorded. These headphones are built for that. And they're the Sennheiser DT250, no, sorry, Beyerdynamic, B-E-Y-E-R, D-Y-N-M-I-C, Dynamic, okay? DT250, Delta Tango 250. I know people who've had a pair of these for 16 years. Wow. Guess how much these wonderful headphones are? About £120. And every part, the cable, the crosspiece, the foam, the covers, is replaceable. So you know you've got a pair of headphones that will last you for life. Because if you get cheaper ones with the built-in cable, the chances are up here, the cable will break. Or the plug will break at the other end, and you've got to throw them away. So the great thing about the DT250s is they're stable, they last forever. So that's done headphones. It's the ones I'd recommend more than any other. Okay, DT250. Okay, so let's move on to other stuff.
Fergus, can I just ask you a question? What about this mic here? How is this mic sounding?
Very good, of course. It's very sharp, but it's very good. Yeah.
I've been doing some voice practicing, as you were saying the other evening.
Yeah. Can you hear, everybody, how great his voice sounds with the microphone and after my training?
Yes.
Well, ask Jeff's show. I guess that's Jeff. He says he's got an AKJ 200, and he's been using it for a couple of years and loves it and won't use anything else. Mm. And he's been doing radio shows for 10 years. Yeah, I've got
an AKG C3000 studio mic, but it's very sharp sounding, my AKG C3000, and needs its pop filter, whereas my Rode K2 is very mellow. It's got a sort of valve sound, which I love, the old rich valve sound, which this Rode does as well.
So when would you actually use the two? Because obviously there's a lot of competition for the podcasting.
Yeah.
And should you use, especially with being a vocal coach and everything else, is it better to actually have a high definition and something which actually has clarity, or something which is more mellow and more easy on the ears?
Well, I would say that Fab's mic sounds very sharp and clear. Yours, Cindy, sounds very distorted. It sounds like air traffic control or a pilot, your headset. Because that's all it is. It's very cheap. Really. Yeah, Fab. Rode NT USB. I've got it. Yeah. And I got it because I was about to get the AKG Perception, and then Josefa, who's a great friend of mine, and Cindy's as well, said, Fergus, there's a new one out from Rode. And so I spoke to my supplier, Millennium Music in Nottingham, and I said, well, I know I've just bought the AKG from you, but can I swap it out, please? And they let me, which I thought was a pretty good company to let me swap out a mic, which had nothing wrong with it, to get the latest one. Okay, Now, when people want to do their own recordings, it depends what they want the recording for. And I apologize to everyone, I'm looking in the wrong direction, because I'm looking at Cindy and Fab, and I should be looking at the camera, which is the thing you need to do.
Same happens here. My camera's up here in the top of my map, and I'm tending to look at you two.
Now, if I hold this, that's actually, this is a good point for recording, as opposed to just the technology. But if you're recording stuff, one of the ways of doing it is make sure your camera is fairly central, and you don't just look at the camera. I'll show you why. Look at my eyes. Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to be speaking to you on this recording. Do I look boss-eyed? Well, yeah, I am, because I'm focused on the lens. But if I diverge my focus and look through it at Cindy and Fab and myself, suddenly I'm not looking at the camera anymore. I'm looking through the camera at the people who are watching. Because when you're talking to someone, you don't cross-eyed, do you? Or if you do slightly, they won't notice. Anyway, that's just about how to use a camera. Right. The other type of microphones, let's go into my little boxes of tricks, shall we? Does anybody want me to go into my boxes of tricks? That's why I'm using this camera now. Right. Here's something every speaker needs. Okay.
The USB pen.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
With a presentation on
Flash drive.
USB thing, flash drive thingy, Bobby, whatever it is.
Now this one is only 4 gigabytes. Okay. I got a 16 gigabyte one the other day, which cost me £1.37 for 16 gigabytes. Now, why would people need that as speakers? Okay, let's say you're a speaker and you're taking a PowerPoint to an event. Now, this happened to me once. My MacBook Pro is lovely, but it's 7 years old. And, oh, dirty hippie-ish, you've got a lighting up one. Okay, hang on, I've got something to light up. Look.
You've got a doorstop.
Look. Read this and weep, okay?
Okay.
What is this? It's an 8-way USB adapter, which is very small, as you can see. Cost me £5 from Crucial.com, because I've got 2 sockets on the side of my computer, right? If you've got 3 devices, you're in trouble. But if in one of those sockets you plug in an extender, you're not in trouble, because you can put 4 more devices in, because USB will take any number of devices. So I'm talking about technology for speakers when they're recording their stuff, and when they're playing with their stuff, and when they're making a film. And an external flash drive. Okay, here's my little story about that. I went to do a presentation for some very, very important lawyers in Savile Row, okay? And they had this 62-inch gorgeous screen. And they said, okay, you can plug your laptop into that. But I couldn't. Why? Because it was HDMI only, which meant I couldn't plug my laptop in. Now, luckily, I'd saved my PowerPoint out as a full web package onto a flash drive. So they found a laptop that did work and plugged that in, and it was a PC. And I've recorded... That's the thing, actually. As a speaker, if you're doing a PowerPoint, okay, and you're using a Macintosh, you actually do... Keynote is wonderful. Use PowerPoint. Just use PowerPoint. Because then it will work perfectly on somebody else's PC. Because I'd saved my PowerPoint, not just as a PowerPoint pictures, but as a web package. So I put it onto the external drive and plugged it into a PC laptop, and they plugged that into the screen with HDMI adapter, worked perfectly. Otherwise, I'd have been in serious trouble. So you've got to think of the challenges. Like I always say as a speaker, if something can go wrong, it will. So you look at every single link in the chain and think, how can I eliminate as many of the problems as possible? And that's what the technology of speaking is about. So I'll move over to what I carry as a speaker when I travel to gigs. Okay? If anybody's interested, that is. Anybody, come on, everybody come in. Right. Which mics to use and when? Okay, let's do that. Right, we've done that microphone. Okay. Okay, the little one. We've done the camera, wire cam. Never use the built-in speakers on a microphone, on a camera. Hi, Dan. Never,
Hi,
ever
Dan.
use that, really. Not. Do not use those.
Why?
Because they're terrible.
Why?
Because the sound quality of inbuilt camera microphones is terrible. Like this camera, this webcam, okay?
Not even if I've got it close enough for somebody to use?
No. You've got to have a camera with an external mic ability. That's why I bought that one. Because then they can wear a lavalier mic or other microphones I'll talk about another time. I've got one mic which cost me £600, which is what, $900. It's an ENG Sennheiser mic. AKG mic. I love AKG, I love Sennheiser and Biodynamic. Right, the receiver is battery and the transmitter is battery. Now what that means is you can have the microphone receiver from the camera on your belt, and the person speaking has got a body mic, right? And you can go anywhere. You can walk up the street. You don't need the mains. You don't need a power supply. Battery powered. And mine is called ENG because it's an electronic news gathering one. Yeah, it's £600, but it's a very good mic. And it's my traveling mic. If I go to a gig, like I did one a few years ago for a large dental organization, and I was on stage, and the only place my camera could be was at the top of the auditorium where there was no power sockets. Doesn't matter, because there was a wireless receiver plugged into the camera, and I was on stage with a wireless transmitter. So you've got to think about those for later on in the speaking.
Okay.
So you can walk down the road.
You're saying, Fergus, then don't expect the people that have called you for the gig to have all the gear.
No,
take your own gear, so then you know that you're going to come through as quality voice and that.
Yeah, and also I'm going to open my bags now.
I was going to say, well, with Dan, do you actually get to use, and do you do a lot of work with the microphones and stuff, and do you have a preference?
I have in the past, but I will tell you this, that everything that Fergus just said is pretty much on point. Bring your own gear. It doesn't really take much if you've got your proper wireless stuff. You want to be wireless if you can. You got to get good stuff. What he said earlier about using the built-in webcam mics, you go ahead and just shoot those. Just go ahead and shoot them. Just shoot them. You don't want to use that. It's terrible. They're horrible. Nothing good can come out of it for anybody, for the speaker nor the listener. Nothing good can come out of it. Use your stuff. Bring your own stuff, because don't count unless you've already got a prearranged situation with that venue. Go ahead and say, hey, do you have this? What do you have handy? What do you have available? What's your equipment? Is it going to work with what I have? Go ahead and be prepared to bring your own stuff. Bring your own equipment.
Yeah. And to be honest, my headset mic, I was talking about earlier, the actual headset cost me £350.
Oh, crikey.
Just the bit that plugs in. That's it. Just that bit.
But I've been hearing stories from some of the speakers and some of the conference organisers and the AV guys that actually don't like you bringing your own equipment because it messes up the AV equipment. Is that true, or?
Well, it depends on what they have available. Depends on what they have available.
It's you need XLR, X-ray Lima Romeo output, okay, from your mic as a basic, and you also need 1/4-inch jack as an output, because their desk might only receive 1/4-inch, or it might receive XLR, and you want XLR.
Okay. I'll put that
I'll show you an XLR, X-ray Lima Romeo. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And if you're using serious gear, you need that as well. So now I'm going to open up my little bag of the stuff a speaker would ideally need to carry. And I've got 2 bags, and I've rendered it down so much, it's unbelievable. Right. Okay.
Crikey.
Let's open the little bag. What do we have in here?
Here we go. Fergus, I got a little example here of the XLR and the 1/4.
Oh, well done. Thanks, Dan.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, my. So you're quite serious with your mixing desk and everything?
Oh, that's a nice desk. Oh, my God, that's good, Dan. Oh, oh God.
That is fab. Do you do podcasting and stuff? Or?
On a very esoteric level, yes, I do.
And he makes videos, obviously. Right. with that lot, my God, I just use a very fast iMac. And I've got various desks, but most of them are in the loft at the moment because I don't use them. Brilliant, Dan. You have got a nice.
Thank you for sharing.
No, you have a nice setup. No, but what I'm sorry, Ferguson. Go ahead.
No, you've got a lovely setup, Dan. It's like my friend Alan Pease. Many people have heard of him. He's a writer, but also
The body language guy, isn't he?
Yeah, that's him. But he's got heliport studios because he's got a heliport in his studios in Buderim in Queensland. And there's 3 studios there and literally a heliport as well. And he put some pictures on Facebook of his desks the other day. They are huge. They're like 128 track desks in each of the 3 studios. They were, oh my God. And I helped him to buy some mics in Iran about 5 years ago because he got me using my voice to test the microphones. Oh, what a surprise. It was great.
Right.
No, actually, I can't. On another occasion, I'll talk about the dynamics of microphones and how a different mic works differently for a narrator, depending on the tone of their voice, but not today. Not today.
Okay, and you need to get the camera back up or looking at the box or something. I know you're having a bit of a crafty there in the background, but...
Look. Okay, hang on. Right, one of the things you need is your own remote control, okay?
But again, won't that interfere with the AV equipment when you're actually somewhere?
You plug it into a laptop. Take your own. They might have one, but they might not. Okay? So you need your own clicker, what people call them. Now, the Logitech is actually the best, but this is a key span. Okay? But they're not very expensive. They're about £30 each, and they're really good. You also need, and actually, the Logitech one, great thing about it, it's got a built-in laser beam. And what I was showing you just now was my enormous laser beam, which I paid £60 for. But you can get a PETS laser beam on a key ring for about £5 or £6. And they'll work unless you're doing... This one will do 300 feet, okay?
Wow.
And it's Australian, actually. And it's a really high-powered, long-distance laser. And it's very good if you've got a very large room and you want to point to something the other side of the room. But you can use the small ones anywhere. Okay, so you need that. Now, here's another thing you need. Okay, and I know Dan will agree. You need electrical tape preferably in several different colours. Especially, as Dan will know, if you're using like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 microphones at an event, you go to the desk and you put a tape of each colour on each mic, and you put a strip of that tape on the desk, and then you put Fred blue, Mary green, Cindy brown, green and yellow stripe, and so on. And then you'll know the speakers when they're coming.
Can I ask
what colour mic?
Okay, can I ask one question about that tape? And I know it sounds a silly question, but does it come in a kind of skin tone colour?
Yes, you can get khaki electrical. They call it vinyl khaki or khaki vinyl electrical tape.
Okay.
But you don't want to mistake it for duct tape, because if you put duct tape down, that sticky will never come off.
I know.
No. It's just that every now and then, when you're trying to use a mic free, is it? Oh, what do you call it? Sorry, my brain's just gone. The mic free, wire free. Radio mic.
Yeah.
Wireless. That's it. Sorry.
Okay. No. I'll tell you what you.
Being a lady, we don't often have pockets and things on a dress or something, so you end up having to sort of like go into the toilets and tape something to the top of your leg or something. And sometimes it can show through tops or around the back and stuff. So having bright blue electrical tape is not always the best thing.
No. What you use is an elastoplast, a Band-Aid.
Right.
And also, when I put a headset mic on somebody, I will, if necessary, use a bit of elastoplast just here to stop it jumping off their face, to keep it in place.
Okay.
Just a little bit, small plaster, just to hold the mic in place.
Yep.
And then people have to know about shaping the mic to their face and deciding which side they want to have it on, so that they can have, as you said, it's about here. You don't want it here. You just want it about here and following the line of your jaw, okay? I mean, Dan knows all this stuff. Hopefully everybody's taking some notes, because this is actually very technical stuff that costs a fortune to learn. Not, it really does. And Dan's learned it over the years. So right, okay, let's look back into my bag, right? Here's something else which is useful to have.
Well, just as a side note, Cindy, I guess Cindy? Is that your
Yes,
real
it
name?
is.
Okay, Cindy. Yeah. They make all different colors of the of that vinyl electrical tape. So yes, don't worry about that.
Well, the plaster is a good idea, and I will make sure I'll put some of that into my bag. But I once turned up somewhere where I wasn't expecting a wireless mic, and I wasn't expecting to have like plaster, and just sort of like improvised more than anything else.
I wasn't expecting this wonderful blab that I just stumbled across, but I'm sorry to intrude, but I was
You're not
actually,
intruding.
I was
No.
actually learning from Ferguson here for a second. I was absolutely learning. So I'm gonna step down for a second and just listen.
No, well, you can listen, but you can stay there and listen because we've got an open seat anyway. We've got a spare seat.
No, we've got open seat, and it's quite happy. I'm really, really happy if you jump in every now and then and sort of like just have a
because
a quick add to, as I say.
yeah, I think so because Dan, you're obviously very expert in lots of this stuff.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I'm somewhat knowledgeable.
With your studio, I think you're fairly expert. Anyway, I'm talking about the traveling stuff for a professional speaker or a blabber, as opposed to Dan, who has an incredible studio, and he certainly does, but that's not necessarily the same. And I was talking, Dan, before you came in about the difference between dynamic mics and condenser mics. And I'm going to show an example. I've shown my Rode NT USB condenser, which is brilliant, which is what I'm using at the moment. And in a minute, I'm going to show a very, very nice, cheap, because what I'm doing is the low-cost options here. I've got stuff that's cost me a fortune, like my E&G mic and my Rode K2. That's not what I'm showing, because for people who are speaking or blabbing, they might not necessarily want to spend a fortune on equipment, but what's useful for them is to know what type of equipment they need and how cheaply they can get good enough stuff. Like, for example,
That would be nice.
I've got some body-worn Sennheiser Freeport microphones, okay? I've got 2 of those. They cost £109 each, okay? And then you can plug into one of those a very expensive headset. So you paid £330 for a headset and £100 or £110 for the body pack and the receiver, which you then plug into a preamplifier, which I'll show you in a minute when I get to the other case. And you've, for £450, got yourself a very good setup, which will work very well. Now, I know people say, oh, I don't want to spend £450 on a mic. You don't need to. I'm just talking about levels. You've got sort of 3 levels of mic. You've got the basic level, you've got the medium level, and you've got the, oh my God, expensive level. And it depends what you're using it for. And I know Dan's nodding because he knows this stuff. It just depends what you use it for. So let me go back into, this is, remember, just the case for my laptop. Not my case of equipment. This is just the laptop stuff, the emergency stuff. So you have the magnifying glass in case you need to see something. You have the torch. You have your own remote control. You have your own laser beam, although the Logitech one, and lots of them have a laser beam built in, which is brilliant. So does a key span, but it doesn't work well, so I never bother to use it. Okay. Another thing you need for any microphone you've got is batteries, spare batteries. If you're taking your own microphone, now, I've got lots and lots of rechargeable batteries, but to be honest, you can't trust them. I can charge them up, and I go to use them, and suddenly they're flat. So when I'm going to a gig, I buy new batteries every time, which is why I bought a lot of batteries yesterday and some the day before. Also, any adapter you need, any adapter for different outputs, like phono to 3.5mm, okay? You might need one of those. Do you? If you do, get one, because that will plug into somebody's desk. You need a pen, you need paper, any other adapters you might need for your computer. Now, this is for an old-fashioned style of getting VGA, and I've got 2 of the new-fashioned ones in here, which is this, to connect a Mac to an ordinary VGA. Because if you haven't got one of those and you need to plug into somebody else's VGA, you are in trouble. You are in serious trouble. Right, so that is the basics of this case. Any other little cables you pick up, great. And I've got a wide selection, but that's years and years of adapters that I've needed. So let's move from that case, okay? Oh, by the way, another great thing to have is a good compact camera.
Why? When you've got the HD camera, I thought you can actually take a photograph from the camera. So if you're using that.
Yeah, not like this. No. You want somebody walking around the room taking photos of you when you're doing a speech.
Right.
And they can't do that with your camera that you're using on your laptop, really.
Okay.
So you just need the flexibility of that, hence the video camera as well. So now let's move over. Another thing you need, I know it's obvious, okay? You need a pad and pen. For anything you need to know at the event where you're speaking, you actually do need pad and pen. The first thing you need to do, which I've said on the radio before, if you're going to be giving a presentation and you go in and you meet the sound guys, okay, and the AV people, make love to them. They can kill you. They can destroy you. And you need to go in and get them to ring out the microphone, to make the microphone sound good for you. And if you've got your own mic, you're safer.
So that's always a good thing when you get there early to actually go in to the auditorium and do 1, 2, 3 testing. Because I've seen so many people not do that and then just be given the mic and then walk straight in and kind of go.
Okay. And the thing is that when they ring out a microphone properly, they'll adjust the bass and the treble and the high to make your voice sound good. And if you just turn up, they'll put it on a generic setting, and I could say, "Hello, this is Fergus McClelland here. I'm very pleased," because the bass isn't set right. So I always make sure I go and see the sound people. If you're doing speaking, and even if you're doing blabbing, you need to think about the sound quality for an hour before you start, and you need to play with it and get it right.
So for an hour, but you don't get that time in the room.
That's why you're there an hour early. You
I,
have that hour. Of
I'm
time.
not going to disagree with him. It takes about an hour to get it right.
Yeah.
An hour, because
Yes,
I must confess, I've been to a lot of conferences and I've seen speakers get there for an hour beforehand. I know the AV guys tell them get there an hour before they get started. Sometimes they come down the night before.
Yeah.
But they're only on the stage there for about 5 minutes. So is that my cue for actually saying how good the AV guy is?
Well, that's a different discussion too. Sometimes you can see. I'm sorry if I'm intruding here, but I will say I've been there. I've been on that public stage before at a conference where I'll start talking or grab the microphone and it's just not working. Just isn't working because I did not get there an hour before to make sure it worked.
Yeah. Exactly.
Goodness. Okay. So I didn't realize it would take an hour to do that. And that's just for one person or
a gifted sound man can ring you out in 2 minutes, literally, and get the mic sounding perfect for you.
Oh, fantastic.
But it's a special skill, and it can take half an hour to get it to sound perfect for a person, literally.
But how would I know that? Because I would just turn up to the event and I'd go into the microphone and they'll say, just say something, and I literally kind of just say a phrase.
Yeah.
I go, that's fine, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So
No, what you've got to do is you've got to have some things you're going to say like, Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. You need to do a few sentences. And the thing from amateur radio many years ago that Italians used to do is wallow, 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 ola, ola, ola. Because what you're doing a wide-ranging sound of your voice. And you want it to sound rich and strong. If it doesn't, okay, they need to alter the bass, the mid, and the treble to make it sound good for you. So you, Cindy, I would increase the bass. I wouldn't need to with Dan, because he's got lots of bass already. But with you, I'd definitely increase the bass and I'd cut down the top and leave the mid-range where it is. It'd be fine. Anyway, to move on, because I thought of spreading stuff out. I thought, no, I'm doing the magician thing. The other case I always travel with when I'm doing a gig. Okay, any type of gig, right? Here we go. So the bigger bag. Right.
The bigger bag.
The bigger bag. Okay.
The bigger.
Boom.
Is this the one with wheels?
Yes, this is the one with. This is the little one. I used to take a huge one.
That's full of microphones?
Headphones, microphones. Yeah. Okay.
Jiminy Crickets, my friend. You were very, very serious about this audio. My goodness.
Hang on.
And he'll take it all with him as well. I've seen him do it.
He can have 2 or 3 channel two or three channel mixers. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. This is Focusrite Sapphire Pro 14. You don't need the 14. I'm sorry it's reversed. I'm not going to reverse it. Read it backwards. Okay. Focusrite Pro 14. You can get the 12, and this is Firewire, but you can use the USB version. I'm just fussy, so I paid the extra money for the USB version. And Josefa's got the same one, the preamp. Now, the great thing about that preamp, which, by the way, you've got to watch out, it's got the right sockets for your computer. So for my Macintosh, I need an adapter to go 800 instead of 400 Firewire, okay? You've got to be aware of the adapters. Okay.
Do you understand what he's talking about, Dan?
I do. Absolutely.
Thank God for that. I have no idea. You see, this is where I get bamboozled by techie guys.
Okay.
And I kind of go...
It's not really that significant. Just pay attention to where he's going. The end result.
Okay.
Just take the journey, darling.
Yeah,
take the journey.
Just lay back and relax and let it happen.
It's almost like show and tell for nerds, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just lay back, relax, and let it happen, girl. That's right.
This is a very serious program, by the way. Okay, so in the next section here, now you notice that the preamp is in a
We've got a great view of your
section on its own. And
Right.
I've got other preamps which cost £700. This one was 250 because I got the Firewire, but the USB 12 version is only about £180. I needed the extra speed of Firewire, and I wanted the extra oomph of the 14. Focusrite are brilliant, okay, absolutely brilliant and very low cost compared with my Motu Ultralight, which cost me £800, okay, which is also a 2-channel. You do need, remember at the beginning, I hope everybody's been listening to remember, yeah, you need all the batteries, definitely. You need all the batteries.
You gotta have the batteries, yes.
Every size battery. You just take them to a gig.
Even 9 volts, even 9 volts.
Yeah,
Even 9
everything.
volts.
Yes. Yeah. I showed one earlier. You know, the flat pack. Whatever your
square
equipment
battery.
needs, take spares. Literally, just take spares, whatever it is.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Remember, I'm saying about you're listening to a film and the voice comes in and there's no when the voice comes in. That's because they're using a good preamp. Yeah. And you can't use a cheap preamp and get away with it. You can't. If you're going to mix your own background music to a recording that you've done at an event and you want to add some more narration to it, you've got to have a very good preamp with XLR cables, which is what I've just shown you, one of. Okay?
The one in the front pocket.
Yeah.
Because at the moment we can just see a bit of the suitcase. That's it.
I'm going to the next pocket now.
Oh, the next pocket.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's digging deep now. He's digging deep. Yeah.
Oh, look what I found. All batteries.
More batteries. You know, I hope they don't search that pocket first.
Hey, he's absolutely right. If you're a traveling speaker, you got to have all this stuff. You have to. You really do.
You need pens, you need tissues, you need plasters in case you cut yourself, okay? Which is possible. And also, then, this is an expanding suitcase. So now, let's do the magician's biggest trick. Let's go where Dan's very excited about me going. Cindy does not want me to go in here. Right, here we are. Okay. In here, in the lid, right, we have a wireless dynamic mic.
That's not the condenser mic, then.
No, it's a dynamic.
Right.
Okay. It's wireless. Notice I've got a pop phone for it as well, because you've always, not only does it look better, but it works better if you've got one of those on.
Okay.
Because you can really take advantage of it. You can really go, "Hi everybody, this is Fergus and I'm very happy to see you today." And you have no problem at all. Well, I was doing it to the other mic, but yeah, it's one of those. It's brilliant.
Well done.
Also, what I have in here, oh look, there's more batteries. Oh, what a surprise. I've got them everywhere. Okay, this is a spare webcam, just in case, if I'm going to use a webcam. Okay, now let's get back into the exciting stuff. Okay, in the bottom section, okay, we have, Dan will love this, boxes of any adapter you might ever need.
Yes,
from your
sir.
equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's have another box as well. Okay. All the adapters you could possibly need for any of your equipment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you will know what your equipment plugs into and what it might need to plug into. So you just choose your own. Right. What you also do, another writing pad. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, Dan will love this. Yeah. Take a plug strip with you. Literally.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because if they don't have a spare plug strip and you've got 3 things to plug in, a laptop and 2 microphones, you are in real trouble. So you have a plug strip with you. Okay?
Yes, indeed.
This is the safe traveling version. Oh, look, what have I got here? I've got an XLR cable.
Oh, yeah, and a powered USB hub. Yeah, why not have that?
Quick, Dan, you saw that. Yeah.
Why not have that? Why not have that?
Okay. A powered USB cable means you can take your USB with these 3 meters a time. You can have 50 meters for USB. If it's not powered, it'll only go 3 meters max. Okay? So if you can buy a powered USB cable for very little money, and it means if you need to move a microphone away or loudspeakers away or a camera away, you can put it on one of those and you can put it a long way away from your computer.
Absolutely.
And if you're on stage, it's important to think, do I need extension? Now remember, like Dan, I've built this stuff up over years. And I used to use loudspeakers which were... yeah, exactly. Oh, you've got all the same things I've...
Oh, Fergie, you got one of these, bro? You got one of these?
Yeah, it's in the other room. I've
Like
also got...
Yeah, you got one of these.
I've got...
Like the iPhone to XLR to headphone jack. Oh, man, they're awesome.
I've also got... I've got 3.5 mil to 3.5 mil, male to female, 5 meters long. And I've had to use...
2 ring and 3 ring, bro. What you got? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's go on down in the bag.
Oh, Colin, by the way, has made a very good point about putting your name on the plug strip, by the way.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, this is a black one, but you're right. You're absolutely right. You should do. Okay, look at what I found.
I'm a big fan of putting the stuff in like the high vis yellow or green.
Well,
So
I put coloured
like when somebody tries to steal it, that's mine. You can't steal that.
I put coloured strips on mine of tape, electrical tape.
People don't argue over strips, do they? Electrical.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, because let's face it.
Hey, it gets ridiculous.
If you're at an event and there are 2 plug strips, which one's yours? The brand new one or the one that's been kicked all over the floor? The one that's got your piece of tape on it, basically, is yours.
Okay, well, the one that's got my equipment is plugged into my thing is mine.
No. At the end of the event, your equipment will be unplugged.
Uh-huh.
And there'll be 2 plug strips there, a scruffy one and your one. How do you know which one's yours? Well, you'll know which one's yours, but unless you've got something on it to prove it, you'll be given the battered one, basically. Now, look at what else I've got, which can do 50 people easily. Right? Get into the bottom of the box. Get into the bottom of the box.
Okay, look. Into the box.
Okay, right. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. Boom, 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 boom. It's hard because it's reversed. Right.
Where do you put your underwear in there? Jesus.
Now, this is a pair of...
Maybe he does.
Okay? They're light, they're small, and they'll do 40 people in a room easily. Okay?
Okay.
And then we have also the power supply for it. That is the power bit of the handheld mic you saw. Okay? Which you notice can take either XLR or 1/4 inch. Okay?
Okay,
so
that's the mic that came out of the actual lid.
That's the lid. That one.
Right.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah. So I plug that in, and of course there's a battery in the mic. This is plugged into the mains and also into the preamp that you saw in the lid of the suitcase. Then you've got a dynamic mic, which you can use as an emergency in any situation. Like if your headset mics don't work, this will. And actually this particular, and notice I've got 2 tapes on there, Dan. I've got the stripy one and the blue one. It's nobody else's, it's mine. Nobody's got those 2 colours on a mic at the same time.
Until now.
I do.
Until now. Oh, damn. Trust you, Dan. Anyway, the thing is...
No, Kyle said that. That was Kyle.
That's Kyle.
Oh, sorry, Kyle. Okay. This particular mic...
I know all of us Americans sound alike.
Yeah, you do. You all sound American. I can do American as well. Hi, which state do you want me to do? I can do California if you want.
You can't do Alabama.
Try Wisconsin.
Oh
shit.
Damn. Oh shit. Wisconsin.
Can you do Alabama?
Not quite.
You
were close, but not quite.
Okay, right.
Can you do Alabama?
No, I'm not going to do Alabama. Oh my God, no.
Exactly. If you're scared, say you're scared. I get it.
I have a dream today that every microphone will work for everybody everywhere in the world. Anyway, this AKG, right, has got crystals. You change the crystal and that little cap to change the channel. So it's only got a few channels, okay? Mm-hmm. But the batteries last 30 hours.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, that's awesome. 30 hours, huh?
Yeah, that's really good. And
is that double A or triple A?
Double A.
Double A, right.
2 double A's, 30 hours.
What's the battery pack on your back? You use 9-volt?
On my what?
On the... It doesn't use, like the little thing on... It doesn't have a little separate one that uses a 9-volt?
No, that's mains. The receiver is mains. The receiver for that is mains.
Oh, cool.
You weren't looking. Here's the receiver.
You're right. I wasn't paying attention.
No, you weren't. Okay, there's the receiver.
Right.
It's single channel, and there have been times when I've had a problem. When I've been setting up the mics for 10 or 12 speakers, I'll have somebody else in the conference room, or in a conference room, not in this one, but in the same conference building, on the same frequency as me. That can be a very serious problem. I have to stop using that mic. If my mic is turned on, I have to leave it turned on in mute, because if I turn it off, suddenly I hear people in the next room. So you leave it turned on in mute, unfortunately. You have to. Right, so that's my lightweight traveling bag. Okay.
I've done that before. I've done that before with my ham radio. I've scanned for different things, like at churches and stuff, and I hear them. Like, oh yeah, man, I can stomp down on them if I want to. And I've done it before when I was a teenager.
Wow.
Shame on me.
As an AV, is there something that we could do to kind of guard against that, or just be very mindful of it, just mute things as opposed to?
No, have more channels. Have
just different channels, yeah,
okay.
Just switch around.
Collins asked a question.
The chances of somebody doing that are like 1 in a gazillion, so you're fine.
But it's happened 3 times.
But I now know how I can wind Fergus up next time I see him in a conference. Yeah.
Just know that it is possible.
Okay. Collins asked a question. How do you get your voice back into shape after pulling the muscles you'll have strained lugging all the stuff around?
You do what I do, and you go to the gym for at least an hour a day so that you don't get exhausted. Okay.
Yeah, and you lift weights with your tongue. That's how you do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're lucky. People can work that one out for themselves. I'm not going to go any further. Anyway, that's my small traveling package. However, the other day, I actually found a thing which is in my my camera bag called a boom bar, okay, and it's Bluetooth, and it's small, and it will do 10 people in a room. You can use it cabled 3.5 or Bluetooth, and it's small. So the suitcases are coming out for when I use this lot for one-to-one training. I will take the loudspeakers out, and I'll use the boom bar for up to 10 people in a room.
All right.
I'll get you the boom bar and show it to you. And that's the only piece of equipment left that I'm showing you today. I'm not showing all the other microphones. I'd have to spread stuff out all over the place. Also, yeah, if you're using an external camera, as in a good digital camera, like the one I showed you at the beginning, the Panasonic, you want to think about getting a mic stand as well. A camera stand, tripod. So you can screw it on at the back of the room, have somebody standing there and focusing and changing angle. Wobbly is not good. Be back in a mo. Let's see what I can find.
Agreed, Fergie. Well done, bro. Well done presentation. Well done.
Have you met Fergus before?
No, never.
My first time meeting him too.
No.
But hey, man, he's obviously excited and enthusiastic about this technology stuff. I love it, man. That's why I came in here. I said, "Oh man, which mics do you use and when?" I said, "Wow, okay, sounds like my kind of stuff to come in here."
Well, I will be honest and say that I've learned quite a bit about with the socks and the pop things.
I will say he may have overdone it for most people, but I totally got what he was saying. But for most people, he may have overdone it, and that's okay.
That's fine. Well, it's one of the questions that I've kind of sometimes ask him with, okay, we're doing this, what should we use? And is there anything I need to look out for? Because I'm well aware that sound and the voice is something to really look after and to get the best possibleness. And it's no good me training my voice to then come on a microphone.
Oh, don't worry about the voice training. Here's the thing, Cindy, are you listening to me? Are you listening?
I'm listening.
I'm looking at you right here. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Best thing you can do is what you're doing already. You have a wonderful headset with wonderful audio. Everybody hears you. You're doing it well.
Thank you.
You're doing it well.
Well, I sometimes just want to make sure that the quality's there, but Fergus is one of the few guys I know who has an army of microphones.
We got to work on his presentation a little bit, but I can tell he's enthusiastic about the content. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. That makes me.
This is a step up from the first time I got him onto here.
Hey, Cindy, you have wonderful audio. Don't change a thing. Please do not. Please do not.
I must confess, I was impressed with your setup. Those 4 televisions, how did you get the 4 of them actually interlinked like that and sort of like together?
Oh, I stole them from Kyle's mother.
Oh,
No.
Hurt my feels, dog.
No, this is a setup I've had from a while back. I've been in the IT thing for many years. So when I set my stuff up, I just said, okay, here's my stand-up desk. I got this. Got all this stuff going on. Get my sound stuff going on. My
I'm impressed with the 4 screens.
I've got it. No,
but how did you get those 4 screens together? Because
there's a monitor stand that actually does that for me. I just the Visa things on the back of monitors, they got the screw holes. You just do that. You just do that, and they mount up. They mount up.
I tell you what, I am going to show this as a replay back to my colleagues because they love screens. They've got me into 2 screens. And,
two screens bare minimum. Minimum.
Look. I've shown you my small loudspeakers because I had ones bigger than that and ones even bigger than that, and others which were in a suitcase. They were the top half of the suitcase. And to do 200 people, I've used them for the PSA events, the Professional Speaking Association events, and they're brilliant. And I've got lots of XLRs with extensions, and I've run sound off lots of desks, like 3 desks at once at the PSA, and 8 mics at the same time.
Right.
And some people, there's somebody who does mountains you spoke to, yesterday, who I love to bits. And I was running an event when this mountaineer person had a microphone. I was running the audio for this particular event. And suddenly I couldn't hear the person. I thought, oh my God, the battery's gone flat. So I turned the sound up really high on the desk. And I waved to this person, and they then switched the mic on. Oh my God, the feedback was terrible.
Ouch.
Because they'd forgotten to turn it on. Anyway, another story. All speakers should remember when to turn their mic on, how to turn it on. And also, before you go on stage, there's a chap called Reg Atwell, who Cindy and I know, who's a professional speaker. And when he's at the back of a room and he's about to come on stage, he will tap the microphone 3 times and go, to make sure it's on. And the sound man goes, and then he goes on stage. Now, that's a very clever tip for anyone who's about to go on stage with a headset or a lavalier or a handheld. Just tap it 3 times and look at the sound man. Make sure they go, yeah, you're on, because you might not be. Right, here's my latest little toy, which was, you can get it for £25. I got it for 30. Look at this. You'll like this, Dan, because I'm going to use this for clients now, right? This is a stereo boom bar, and it's Bluetooth or 3.5 mil. And you
It's
can
not
light
a Beats
up.
pill, though.
It's not
You'd
what?
be a cool guy if you had the Beats pill.
I don't even know what a Beats pill is.
Oh, you old timers.
Yeah, sorry, Carl.
Old parts, I tell you.
You can lay this on its back to do a lot of sound for a room, or they supply a little plastic disc, or you can put a coin in there and it'll stand up. And it's 2 watts per channel, and it's £30, and it's 3.5 mil, or
Does she get pretty loud too?
Pre-log? What?
Does it get very loud also?
Yeah, no, it's pretty loud. It's pretty good for 2 mil. And oh yeah, there's a little disc that you get with it. You see, you get a little disc.
The
Back. It'll stand up.
Okay.
It's small and light, and I can now, if I'm doing one client, and it comes also with a 3.5 mil cable and the charger cable as well, which is of course just USB. And so you can just put that in your suitcase, much lighter than the loudspeakers I was showing just now. And that's my 4th iteration of loudspeakers, from gigantic, actually 5th, actually, from gigantic to big center box and then 2 independents, a 5-way with remote control, but if you lose the remote control, it won't work. So that's
Ouch.
scary. That's really scary, because I took it to an event once and it wouldn't work, and I had to get speakers from the event organizers because I'd left the remote control at home. Oops.
Wally.
Yeah, I know. And
101.
then some smaller ones, and then these Trust ones, which are actually very good, and were only about £30, but they do need power. And to that little thing, which charges up, and it'll give you 30 hours on a charge. And it's
Have you
Bluetooth.
gotten 30 hours of usage figure out of that, maybe?
Well, they said it's 30 hours. I haven't tried it, but it's up to 10 meters Bluetooth, but don't move it around.
Yeah, yeah.
While you're doing
yeah.
the presentation.
Be very
It's
gentle on how you
holes.
move it around. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can just use it close to your laptop and just turn it on, make sure you've got the Bluetooth enabled, or use a cable. But sometimes, as Dan will agree, you don't want to run cables from one table to another, because somebody will walk into them if it's possible. Definitely.
Me. It's usually me.
And if you've got a cable, I know this is going to the edge because I've done all what I was going to do anyway. Mm-hmm. But if you're cabling a room, I'm just doing this for Dan really, but anyone else, if you're cabling a room and you've got a microphone 12 feet away from a door frame, if you can avoid it, do not gaffer tape the cable across the floor. If you've got enough XLR cables, and believe me, I have, go round the door frame, up, across and down. Do not leave anything that anyone could kick, because they will.
I've always used the gaffer tape it to the floor, I must confess.
Well, I've done that, and it's horrible when you pull the gaffer tape off.
We've all done it. Yeah, we've all done it. We've all been lazy. We're all guilty of that, but it's not a good practice. It really isn't.
If your cables are long enough, go round the door frame, literally.
What do you think about those the rubber strips things where the cable sits in? 'Cause I've tried to use them and I actually ended up tripping over them myself.
Yeah, you trip over them. Now, if it's just to go from a laptop to a flip chart sort of thing, yeah, okay, but I'd rather not use those at all. I'd rather put the cable where no one could trip on it.
My philosophy was at the last office I worked at, I said, you tell me where you want your stuff, and we will make a cable to make it happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just don't try to adjust your stuff to the cable. Put it where you want it, and we'll make a cable long enough. Whether it's a network cable, an HDMI cable, whatever, we will make it happen.
Wow.
Well, I've got XLRs to cover about 200 feet, and it's not one 200-foot XLR. It's lots with adapters, so I've got male to female, and they're all quite long anyway. And I've done them in venues for the Professional Speaking Association. I looked at the room and I thought, oh my God, because one speaker had to be 200 feet away from the desk, and the other one was 15 feet away from the desk. Oh, here's something for everybody. Dan will definitely agree. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, Cindy. This is going to be funny, Dan. Okay, I've got one speaker 10 feet from the desk and one speaker 100 feet from the desk. What cable length should each one have?
The right one.
No, don't cheat. Come on.
Now, I must confess I wouldn't know.
Okay, Dan, tell her.
The one 10 feet should have a 10-foot cable. The one 100 feet should have a 100-foot cable.
No.
Yes.
No. They should both have a 100-foot cable to keep balance. For God's sake, you don't want any delay.
No. I disagree. I totally disagree on that one.
I always do that. I always do full length.
But doesn't the length of the cable actually impinge on the quality?
No.
Not if it's a good cable. Not if it's a good XLR. That's the great thing about XLR. XLR is very good. And actually, for loudspeakers, years ago, I mean, you can get the 50 and 100 and 1,000 strand oxygen-free cables for loudspeakers. You can get those, and they're very good. But somebody did some experiments years ago in Wireless World, which is all about sound, and they found that using coaxial cable, especially very leaky coaxial cable, was as good.
Is there a such thing as non-leaky coaxial cable? Come on.
Well, there is the stuff I get. The H100. Oh my God, H100.
Oh, see, now you're just getting super nerdy. Now
multi-skinned. Come on, multi-skinned cable. Not just ordinary coax, but for loudspeakers. Believe it or not.
You're just getting super nerdy. Stop it.
That was when I was electronics engineer, Dan. Sorry, I didn't tell you that. For 25 years, I was
Understood. I get it.
So that's why when I went into speaking, having been an actor and a film star and all that rubbish, then was an electronics engineer. I was. Don't worry, I did recover. I did.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah.
Yeah, well, of course I've recovered. Anyway, after doing electronics for 25 years, when I came into the professional speaking world, I had the knowledge of technology to be able to make things work and sort out cabling and things. And I haven't got Minicam working properly here yet, but Minicam looks awesome. It looks really good, and I'm sure I will. And the great thing is that Blab is able to use my external camera and at good speed, great speed.
Well, whilst we've got Dan here, he might be able to answer the question a bit. I was told, because you're on a Mac, aren't you, Fergus?
Yes, I am, yeah.
I was told a little bit earlier that you should use Cam Twist for Macs rather than Minicam. I wondered if Dan had any ideas on that or any thoughts.
I don't know anything about the Cam Twist. I really don't. I have no input on that one. I don't.
Right. Okay. Research a bit more.
Oh. Other camera.
Another camera.
Did you say Cam Twist?
Yeah, it's Cam Twist.
I've never heard of that one.
Oh, Twist Cam. No.
Twist Cam. Neither one.
Twist Cam.
Either way you twist it, I don't know anything about it. See what I did there?
So which one's this one then, Fergus?
This is one I got some years ago, which is, as you can see, is very small. And if I turn it onto camera...
Well, at least it hasn't got as big a battery as the last one.
No, that's true. But that one... No, I don't want to set the date and time. Thank you very much. No. No. It says yes. Okay. Okay, fine. Right, this is... about 120 pounds. Now, the special thing about this, it's small. It uses an SD card like the big one does, but it's also waterproof. You can actually use it underwater in your swimming pool if you want to. And when you close the lid, it goes off automatically. So as a backup cam, as a second camera, and it's so small, you can have it in your pocket. So now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you want to be filmed when you're doing a presentation as a speaker, then you might want to have it filmed from two angles. Now, if you've got the two cameras, you can have cutaways from side like. And so then I said, it's very good today. And people said, so you can have two cameras, one which is a fixed rostrum camera on a tripod. Oh, I'm not going to show you a tripod. I've got one just over there.
No.
There. Tripod equals tripod. You can have one on a tripod, and one, somebody walks around and just films you every now and then. And then you think, okay, which bits do I want to mix when I'm cutting and editing this film to make it exciting? Because at the moment, it's boring me here in front of you, okay? Well, I've been lucky because I've been able to hold things up and show things and move the camera around. But if you... Go on.
With the underwater one, obviously that's for extreme purposes and stuff. Is that a lot more expensive than an ordinary or the HD camera that you showed earlier?
No, it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. It's not such high definition. But the underwater is almost a gimmick, but it's just one of the functions of it. And I got it years ago, and you just put the SD card in it, and no, it's not the quality of this, and it's not the quality of the big Panasonic, but you can interleave bits from it as
like these?
slide shots.
Right, okay.
Or quick interviews with people. Like there's a thing, if you think of the Blair Witch Project, if a speaker wants to make a film of themselves and they want to talk to the audience members afterwards, sometimes just taking a little camera like this around and saying, okay, so what did you think of tonight? What did you think of the show? This doesn't take an external microphone, but if you've got a room of 40 people, you take one to the back of the room, you can film them and ask them what do they think, and you can get some cine verite stuff, so it's all exciting. And they go, oh, you were fantastic tonight, because they're not going to say you were terrible, are they, really? And so you can get lots of little testimonial videos to stick on your website or in your blogs or whatever. It's thinking about what can you use to promote yourself free.
Yeah, but also it promotes the conference as well to a certain degree. So it's...
And like I don't know if Dan or Kyle have heard of him. I know Cindy has because I keep talking about him, Dan Kennedy, who introduced Tony Robbins to the world. And I was with him for a few hours a few days ago.
Fergie, I gotta give you some clappy time on that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dan was very nice.
Well done. Well done.
Dan is a great bloke. And yeah, if he introduced Tony Robbins to the world, he must be quite good at what he does, really. And what we did, we had 3 people with audio recordings, the main camera and my Panasonic camera all filming him or recording him at the same time, because we had him for 3 hours. Now, Dan costs about, I don't know, if you want to be in the audience, it's £5,000. That's what, nearly $8,000 for 2 days.
Ouch.
And we had him for £20 a head for 3 hours, and there were only 50 of us in the room.
So you had a good deal.
We had a fantastic deal. I was in there. I was the first person to book, basically. But also, we had to make sure we got it filmed from every angle and audio from every angle.
Just in case.
So I used that small handheld mic into my big camera. And the interesting thing was, Dan was about to wear an ENG mic, lapel mic, and it didn't work properly. So my mic was the only one as a proper microphone that got it, and we had 2 or 3 Zoom-type recorders. Zoom recorders are good. Olympus recorders are terrible.
Hang on. So which mic are you actually using now, then?
I'm using the Rode.
The Rode one. And
Yeah.
so do you actually take that along with you, with all the other ones that you've shown us already?
Yeah, and also, I took it along to an event in a conference room close to me in Greenwich in London, and it was a large wooden-walled room, and I was training a client, and he wanted to do a recording. Now, I've done recording with my big Rode, a pop filter and pop mic stand and all that stuff to set up for like an hour to set it up. But this time, I just had the Rode NT with me, the USB one. And I got him to stand at the back of the room facing the window, and it was an 8-minute recording he had to do. I rehearsed it with him, I reworded it. No, there's no processor here, it's just directly in USB. And so we did the recording, the 8-minute recording, and in front of the window, on the other side of the conference hall, was some children screaming and shouting in the garden and some traffic moving. Couldn't hear it at all. He got a perfect 8-minute recording that he could then use to promote his business from this mic, that quick. So yeah, I always take it along now, because it fits into a little bag with the cables as well. I don't take the filter and the stand, I just take the basic mic, and I just show people how to do it without popping.
Right.
But if I'm doing recordings at home and I want to do a decent sized recording, what I do, I'm very lazy really. I say, oh, I've got to do a 4-minute recording for a client. Oh my God. So I pick the mic up, plug it in, I just hold that in front. And then I say, welcome to Pepsi-Cola conference facility. Please enter your room number followed by the hash key. I've probably done 3,000 of those actually.
Wow. Well done. Well done.
But I do get paid $100 for each one.
I think you're being shortchanged, Fergus, with that voice sometimes.
We're a voiceover. Yeah, absolutely. Well done.
Okay. Right, quick question is the gadget that you just used.
Okay, it's a pop filter that comes with the microphone. I'm not actually promoting selling this mic, or actually, I would. I don't get any money from it, but it's an Australian mic, Rode Australian, and they're very good.
Yeah, it smells just like kangaroo. Oh yeah.
Kangaroo poo, actually. Kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
I'm not going to unplug it now because
No, don't unplug it.
No. But this would go on it and be screwed onto the bottom of it.
Oh, that's the kangaroo screen.
Kangaroo screen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a piece of foam rubber that comes with it, which I've lost now. Oh no, here it is. Right. Okay. This was just packaging when I bought it. But hang on. Why would I throw this away? So
Why would you? Indeed.
And then I put the filter on top. So it gives that extra bit of cover. So I can say, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Okay. Now let's do it without the filter. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? I bet that's painful in comparison.
Not as painful as when you hold the mic in
Peter
front.
Piper would have picked. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. You notice now, Cindy, and this is the thing for speakers to remember, I'm getting what's called bass lift. Okay? Now, if I hold the mic here, it's still a very good mic, even at distance. It's very good for distance.
No, it sucks at that distance. It's terrible.
Does it? It's bad, is it?
It's terrible.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Oh, well, it must be to do with Blab, because I've done recordings from a lot greater distance. But anyway.
The quality is still there, but it's just
Yeah.
like but obviously not as good as when it's close to you.
Well, yeah,
Front of your mouth.
and that's
There we
why.
go. Now you're
And
back.
you see, my breath is not going into the mic at all, so I can get away with not popping just by doing this. I can go, Peter Piper picked. You see, there's nothing.
That's
If
right.
I go,
No pops. No pops. No pops.
Piper picked.
Okay. But you
Peter
also,
Piper picked.
good
Blah, blah,
point
blah.
here is just to recap there. So you've got the pop filter, and this is the compressor one, isn't it? Because it's the UBS. USB.
USB, yeah. It's condenser, not compressor. There's no filtering, there's no processing. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name properly. Amnonisan. Okay, it's a USB mic, and it's just plugged straight in, which means all the processing is done in the microphone, and it goes as a digital data stream into the computer, which means it's zero latency and very good. And also, one of the great things about it is you can have zero latency headphones plugged in.
Bam. Fist bump.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
My first virtual fist bumps there.
On Blab.
Shit, yeah, we're practically friends now. Hell yeah.
Well, we got the same mic, man. You know, we got the same mic.
No, we don't.
Oh, you haven't got one. Oh, you poor thing. Oh no, this
No,
is the other
I
chap.
know. I have a
That's
different
right.
mic like that. I'm not using it right now.
Yeah.
I'm using a Sennheiser wireless mic right now. Oh,
Oh,
Sennheiser, high five.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I've got 4 Sennheisers actually. Actually, yeah.
So do I. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got all the Sennheisers right now. Yeah, got him. Yeah.
Mine are in a cupboard. I've got 2 free ports.
Ooh, Sennheiser in the hizzy. Mm-hmm.
I even got some of the headphones, which I had to throw them away actually because the cable broke. Which is why I like these, because the cable doesn't break.
What I'm using right now is a Sennheiser, so.
Actually, that's why it's fuzzy.
Oh, that's racist. Quit being so racist.
No, it's like Cindy's fuzzy because
Quit being so racist.
I know. Whatever I am, I'm not sounding fuzzy.
And
On my mic.
I'm sounding fuzzy to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the headset. It's the headset
No,
mic.
what about me? Am I fuzzy?
Yeah, you are, I'm afraid.
Oh, my God. That's racist.
God.
Well, he doesn't sound fuzzy to me.
You're an audio snob.
And I didn't.
That's true. That's true.
Sounded that fuzzy.
He's an audio snob.
You both sound processed.
Hang on. So if I did
Fine,
that,
then.
would that be better?
Yes, actually.
With moving the mic down?
What about if I
Yeah.
did this? Is that better?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's your voice, Dan. It's your voice. It's not
Maybe
my...
it's my voice is fuzzy.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine.
Fuzzy voice. No, it's better like that, actually. Yeah, it's too close to your mouth, Cindy, so it's breaking up. It's distorting it.
Yeah,
mic capsule.
Stick it
can't
like
take
right
it.
there on your nose. That does
I
make
have done that, and it's sort of like then gets
Do it right here where mine is.
no.
feel like
I'd like to send it right there where mine is. Right
Just
there.
chin level.
No,
Try
it's
chin. No.
Like at nose level. Like at nose level.
No. Cindy, ignore him. No, try chin.
Ignore him.
Try chin. Just ignore Dan.
If I did that's sitting full down because it's the headset that goes round the back of the head, not over.
Yeah.
I can't stand when they go over.
No, chin level's okay, but it's still not good. But it's only a cheap headset, isn't it?
But
So,
but
what do you
chin
expect?
level, you can still hear the breathing, right?
I like hearing Cindy's breathing. Don't worry.
Yeah, who doesn't, right? Who doesn't?
Well, I
It used
like
to be
to hear
called
my
insufflation.
breathing. And he knows I'm alive.
Breathe, you fool. It's good for you. Yes.
Yes, no, I've been told on many a time to breathe quite a few times. Here you go.
Well, Cindy, I bet you weren't expecting this when you started this stuff, were you? Oh, no.
No, I must confess, out of all the blabs I've done, I even Skyped Fergus before it saying, you know, this is the first blab I've done that I've actually got nervous about doing.
Oh, Fergus, bro, I just followed you. Cindy, I'm about to follow you. Let me see what we got.
Oh, yeah, I've got to follow you, Dan, because your desk. My God.
You guys are absolute fun. That's all I got to say. You guys are absolute fun.
So you'll be up for joining him again when he sort of like goes to next week.
Oh, yeah, does a fat baby poot? Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic saying.
I don't know what I'll be doing next week. Cindy will probably tell me.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what you're doing. If you're here, I'll enjoy it. If you're not, well, we'll still have fun. It's fine.
This looks like it's going to be the Fergie and Sid show.
Oh.
Sindgus.
Oh, Cindy. Oh my God, kids, I've had a blast tonight. Thank you for this. This is awesome.
What topic would you like us to cover next week?
I don't know. We'll have to see what happens next week, I guess.
Hey, we make it up on the spot, don't we?
Let's just go. Let's just fly off the handle.
Well, we could actually perhaps try and talk him out of getting the bigger suitcase of gadgets.
The big mic and the big desks. No, I'm not getting the desks out the loft. I hardly ever use them. I'm not dragging the desks down.
No, but what was that gadget that you brought to one of the events where you actually put it on the voice and it changed the voice? It was in one of the London. This is not going to help you. I'll talk to you afterwards because that was kind of fun to play with.
I was using Audio Explorer, which gives you waveforms of the voice, and you can actually see what your voice is frequency-wise and volume-wise, and you can find out where your resonance is and then increase it.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about. That was just software, mate, and it's free now. And the UK, the PC equivalent. I can't remember the name at the moment, so people have to write me an email and ask me what the name is.
We will research it and talk about it on one of the blabs, won't we?
That's true. Yes, they can't know any more yet.
And then I can write it in the sidebar, and then we got something to follow, and all have a bit of a
Look
laugh.
at there. You see there?
Yeah. Little fella, take the E out, little fella. It's Audio Explorer without the E. Without the E. Audio Explorer without the E. And it's free. I bought it, but then it went free. It's you play with the program, spend a bit of time with it, and it's for voice training. Well, I use it for voice training anyway. No problem.
We try. Anyway, did you realise it's coming up for midnight
2
here?
hours. I know, we've done it wrong again, haven't we?
We
It's
have.
gonna
You
be
know,
an
you
hour.
only have to come on for 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, thanks for
And
your
you
contributions, Dan, and your desk looks wonderful, and
Yeah.
thanks for you
You
knowing
stop
stuff I
it.
would
No,
say.
you stop it.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind knowing where you got the setup, the stands for your computers.
We'll talk about that.
We'll
talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
Cool. Because I know somebody else who could be very interested in kind of getting.
Maybe that could be a separate lab.
Let's screen it.
We
Let's
just talk
scream
about
screening.
I'm kind of proud of my desktop setup. I really am.
Yeah.
I've had it for close to 5 years now. I'm proud of it.
It is awesome. It really is. I mean, you can't organise scraps bits of paper like that. That's for sure. So, anyway, right, let's call this a halt because it is coming up for midnight.
You've been listening to a podcast by the Guild of Speakers. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help us to get our message out. If you would like to know more about the Guild of Speakers, go to guildofspeakers.club or scan the QR code below.